This is one area that can really help your clinic because they drive such an enormous amount of business.
Welcome to AMC. I'm Dr. Greg Miller. We're in a series on staff training and support. Today's topic is compensation and incentives with John McGuire. Let's go ahead and get started.
As a business owner or entrepreneur, many of you probably already have a budget and goals in mind. It's always important to make sure that you set your upcoming year's annual budget with particular growth, expenditures, and other financial things that are very important to operating your business. If you really don't structure a budget and focus on areas such as operating costs, and staff, rent, electricity, utilities, regular overhead items, additional things that you may need to operate your practice, expectations on revenue from patient visits, other services, and things that come into your clinic. This is really important to get a true understanding of where those dollars are coming from, what you may be able to expect, what you should be compensating your folks. And again, you should be averaging about 55% or less debt compared to your revenue. Your operating costs should be around 55%. So budgeting is a very key item to the overall health of your clinic. Now, one area that we're always asked upon is compensation and incentives, particularly for chiropractic assistants or CAs. This is one area that can really help your clinic because they drive such an enormous amount of business. They also work well with the patients. Outside of some of these specific doctor things, a lot of the other driving force to potential income is through your CAs. So it's always really smart to come up with a plan for your CAs where they can help share in the growth of the company and in particular areas of need. And I'll get into that in a little bit more detail. But first, what you want to do is get a really true understanding of what a compensation should be like for a CA. Is it hourly? Is it salary? Does it fit into your budget? How many hours? What's the structure? We have many areas that we can discuss in that, but I'm going to focus mainly on the compensation and incentives today. Most CAs are paid hourly, some are salary, and those prices vary on region, responsibilities, and duties. One thing that I particularly really like to do when you're developing a compensation plan, particularly for a CA, is really create what we call a pool of dollars available, or a vision board, or something that you can use to provide an incentive above and beyond the regular hourly wage or salary that gives the staff an opportunity to make more money as the practice or your business sees more money. So in other words, if you're averaging $20,000 in collections and your budget going into next year is $25,000 and you meet that, that's a very good thing for your clinic. And if the CA helps you get that other $5,000, there are a lot of ways to help compensate them extra because they're going to be a driving force to try and give you and get you to that extra $5,000. So when I say vision boards or pool of dollars, it's really structured in a way where set a dollar amount that is reasonable within your budget and gives enough incentive for your staff. And this could be done both for one staff person or 2 or 3 staff person or more. So really work within your budget, know how many staff you have and what your expectations are going forward because it will really help design this plan. So let's kind of get started talking through this pool of dollars plan. So I'm just going to be very simple since I don't have a whiteboard or a piece of paper, and some of this will be on radio, so I want to make it clear just by the conversation. If your set of pool of dollars could be any amount that fits in your budget, it could be $1,000 a month, $500 a month, $2,000 a month, $100 a month. You can set whatever extra dollars a staff can make as that pool of dollars for incentive-driven areas of need that you want to focus on. So let's focus on that right now. A lot of practices will use growth and collections. So, you can set 1 vision board item, 2, 3, 5. I really think 3 is enough because you don't want to make it too complicated, you don't want too little, and you don't want too much. So I think 3 is usually a pretty good number. And say that's based on meeting collection budget expectations. Maybe one is missed appointments, so they're sending reminders, they're working with text and email and phone calls, other ways to get missed appointments down. And then perhaps the third one is new patients. It could be overhead, it could be any number of things that works well in your clinic, could be certain services that you want to see increased, nutrition, a whole variety of stuff. And again, those things play into the overall number each month. So to make it simple, without any way of writing here, let's just say the staff member gets paid $12 an hour, but you're going to provide an extra $100 a month as a pool of dollars within an incentive bonus plan. Now, $12 an hour and $100, these are really just basic numbers I'm providing. Many clinics are more than that, maybe some less, but it's going to be a simple way for us to discuss this today. So out of that $100, let's say 50% of that is if we meet our monthly collection. So that means $50 of that 100 goes towards meeting the expectations of that month's collections or the monthly collection budget. Say another $25 is for missed appointments. And then let's just say the other $25, or the third item in our vision board, is for selling a certain amount of nutrition. Now, the nice aspect of this plan for doctors is if the CA meets those or staff meets those goals, that means extra revenue into the clinic, which means that $100 extra you have to pay to the staff is really self-funded because of the growth. So it really helps the staff CA to have a driving force and to be part of the overall plan and should be incentivized by that. I think it's important that we talk with our staffs and work with our team on what the expectations are, what the budget is, and what can we do together to make that happen. So what I love, again, about this pool, it allows you to create those areas that you want to focus in. It spreads the dollars around and so on. So I want to run some scenarios for you because this should be paid out monthly, but based on a year-to-date system. So what do I mean by that? It's $100 a month, but if you take 100 times 12, that means there's $1,200 available to that staff person, in this particular example, that they can earn extra this year. And the nice aspect of a monthly payout year-to-date plan is if they fall short one month but over exceed the following month, they can make up for some lost dollars. And let me explain that, because every month they may not meet the full expectations, but the other months they may exceed it, which will balance out to what the overall budget goal is, and it gives them an opportunity to make up for lost money. Because you as the doctor and the entrepreneur, this is a great way for you to meet your goals. If you meet your yearly goals, and you may not do it cleanly every month, but you overall meet your goal of growth of $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 a year, and they help do it, there shouldn't be any problem with them having makeup or getting lost revenue from previous month. So an example is in January, we have a $100 pool available for staff. And in January, they only met 90% of the expectation. So in other words, in the collections, they didn't meet the entire number that we proposed. On the overall three topics, it came out to about 90%. So they didn't meet the 100% expectations, which means about $90 or 90% of the $100 is available. You pay them. So they are able to earn undervalued pay or pay below the pool dollars, because you don't want to discourage staff and not pay them anything for not meeting a number. You pay them based on the performance for that month. Out of the three areas and topics that you provided them, or vision board items, depending on where they fall within those three categories, 50%, 60%, 90%, pay that to them based on that $100 pool. So perfect example, to make it simple math here, if the pool of dollars is $100, but staff only performed at 50% level, they get $50. Now you can do a threshold where, hey, anything below 75, there's no payout. Because if it's too low, you don't want to reward underachievement that much. But that's really up to you to do so. So to make it easy again, if the pool of dollars is 100, the staff performs at 75% of the expectations for those vision board items, they should get $75. This is month of January. In month February, they exceeded by 125%. So year to date, January and February, being at 75% and 125%, they're tracking at 100% year-to-date plan. So they're able to get the $25 lost from the previous month plus the $100, which technically they're whole, and that makes $200 payout so far for each month. Again, the reason why this is a really good plan is because it keeps the staff driving towards the goal. Whether it's 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months into it, they can keep earning and keep adjusting towards the budget and the expectations of the goal. So they're motivated, they're focused, they understand what they really need to do in order to make that happen. In addition, if they overachieve, pay them more. If you set a pool dollars at $100 and they've averaged $125, well then they should be paid $125. You should have no problems agreeing to that and dealing with that, because if they're overdoing the budget or they're performing better overall as a clinic, that means way more revenue, more income for the doctor, which can easily be shared to the staff. Again, picking out the right vision board items, focusing the right percentages, working with your team together, paying it out monthly, tracking it year to date is a really, really good system. And you'll be surprised, because when staff, as much as motivated most CAs are and staff is, and really taking care of those patients and making the clinic exceed, I think when you put little things in like this in goals, it becomes fun, it becomes competitive, becomes a way to earn, and it really brings value to what they're doing as well to the patients and the doctor, and could be an extraordinary way to really build upon an overall team approach and share in what may be profit sharing or extra dollars or pool of dollars for those individuals. Again, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to us with compensation and incentives. And as always, we look forward to hearing from you more.
I'm Dr. Melissa LeCarey. I practice in Tampa, Florida. And with the systems that we've used, we've been able to grow our practice, and we've been able to actually compensate our staff for all the hard work they do in the process. We've been able to take them on trips for 2 or 3 days. We give bonuses, and we've been able to give them time off with their families for all that hard work.
Thanks for joining us today. As a reminder, we've got regular webinars that go into even more detail on this topic. Check the description for more ways to get our content and sign up. If you'd like more information about AMC and how it might help your practice, you can always reach out to us at amcfamily.com.